points. I mean, Wazoo almost beat them. Like, that would have been one of the more embarrassing SEC losses at home in a while.
Yeah. Oh, no question. YouTube,
That would have been
Facebook, hello.
funny.
Hey guys.
Welcome in.
That would have been funny. We're not going to really talk about that on the show, so that's okay. We can talk about that now.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we're up and running there. Good to have everyone in. Welcome in. A lot to talk about tonight. Wow.
So much.
Gonna have to hold ourselves back and / get started so we can.
Much.
Is this? Here we go. Here are my saves.
We do need to at least mention Humpy's victory.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
We could probably cover picks of the week since baseball's ongoing.
True. Aaron, you didn't write down who you picked last week. Who did you pick?
So I did have the Avalanche, so I added a point to myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
Yep. All right. I'm good if you gentlemen are as well.
I'm good to go. Let me.
All right.
Why am I? Well, I was just yelling. Hey. Hey. Okay, we should be good.
Welcome to the Fifth and Goal Sports Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Aaron, Josh, and Johnny.
Welcome to the show. Whew. Listeners, viewers, it's one of those shows.
Already?
Buckle in. Not because we have a lot of stupid things to say, which we probably do, but there's just a whole lot of wild things happening in college football.
This week, we don't have to worry about saying the stupid things. We will simply repeat the stupid things that have already occurred.
That's right.
Yeah.
Instead of having to make up our own.
You're right about that, Josh. You're right about that.
I was going to go get steak nuggets and try them live on the show.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Because there's an Arby's that was
Yeah.
on my way in. And I'm like, there's I don't want to take like even 5 minutes away because first off, it wouldn't be 5 minutes. Two, I have not even picked up what I'm following yet, just in case. Because we got stuff.
Yeah. Not to get us
Things
totally
happens.
sidetracked right away, which is how we usually operate this show. I almost talked about that last week. That was on the short list of what I'm following, and it did not make the cut.
Okay.
But at some point, we may have to try that live on the show and react accordingly. But for now,
Doesn't that just seem weird?
that Arby's has it?
Like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
No. Just the
Oh.
concept of a steak nugget. I don't know why. Like, why is that weirder than a chicken nugget? It just feels weird.
You ever go as like a kid to, oh man, I feel like TGI Fridays and like that type of restaurant, or like a
Max
Texas
and Irma's.
Roadhouse, and I was like Max and
R.I.P.
Irma's, yes.
Rip. No, they deserve to go away, Josh.
What?
Wait,
No.
did they?
No.
Yes.
I mean,
They were horribly run.
In your, you when they went.
They
away,
had
like, what,
carpet
15
next to
years
the
ago?
ice cream bar. What maniacs
way-
do that?
See, Johnny,
Quick
but that's
absorption, so you didn't slip when your
Right.
brother spilled ice cream all over. It goes right into the carpet and it's sticky, meaning you
And it
have
stays
grip now.
in the carpet for
That's
eternity.
permanent grip. Yes, it's cheaper than putting a rubber mat down.
I don't know if I was
They
ever
avoid
old enough to
lawsuits.
care about that. I
That's also,
heard
Johnny,
ice cream
I've never had
bar and I was
anybody-
sold.
I've never heard. I don't think was 10-year-old Johnny genuinely in Max and Irma's like Gordon Ramsay in Kitchen Nightmares.
It didn't
going,
close
"Oh,
until I
this
was
not
like
fresh."
until we were like 20. Like we were like 20 or maybe even older than that when it finally closed. Did I care as a kid? No. But when I got older, that place was gross, which is
Give
a
a guy a business
tragedy
degree
because
and
Max
all
and
of a
Irma's was great. And all they had to do was actually clean the place, and they couldn't do that. It was gross.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can like your food, but if your place is gross,
Fair
then
enough.
you deserve to be closed.
Hey,
Sorry.
also not RIP because not dead. They
Oh.
have 7 whole restaurants. All right.
Loser of picks of the week goes to Max and Irma's.
The most dangerous Max and Irma's.
Wait, do we have locations, Josh? This is more pressing than James Franklin getting fired, so we're
Yeah, here I'm gonna
tackling
go to
the big
official.
things
I'm going
first.
To to their official website. Don't worry. Locations.
Well, Josh, while you're doing that, Johnny, what's going on? How's your week going?
The Dayton Airport.
Honestly,
fly to Dayton next time, folks.
Wait, for real?
I've been doing nothing except. Oh, that's right. There is one in the Dayton Airport.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I remember I looked at that thing and it was so sketchy. It was so sketchy.
Wow.
That's the one you have to go to.
Okay,
Aaron, if we lose, we have to go to the air. We have to pay for parking. That is a horrible.
You need to pay.
You have to go through security
to go in.
You have to go through. You're not flying. You
Oh, yeah,
have to go through
how do you go,
security.
How are you going to tell the Dayton TSA, hey, listen,
Oh, he'll
don't
understand.
have a ticket.
He or she will understand.
It probably is a regular occurrence.
Also, you don't have to show your boarding
regular
pass
occurrence,
at security,
yes.
right?
Like,
I don't think I have for a while.
I haven't had to do that in the past year. You're right.
Yeah.
I
During
get.
COVID,
Well,
I had
we
to.
might have to find out.
Now, I don't know if they have.
also-
I say
I
that they
also
do
fly
scan
out of,
your
like, the
ID,
most-
so I don't know if that's tied in their system to your boarding pass. Like, I don't
think
know
it
what
usually
the
is.
person is looking at on their computer screen.
All the
when they
TSA
scan.
officials who listen to this show, sound off in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At
Can
Fifth
we-
Goal
please
Sports on
let
Twitter.
us know.
Yeah.
Aaron,
Lancaster
to answer your
or
question,
Wilbur
how
Heights.
I've been
Those are your
doing
other
is
two.
the coaching carousel,
Ah.
following it. So
Yeah.
I'll let you know more about how I'm doing. That,
Are you dizzy
then.
yet?
Very, very dizzy for only like what is it, week 6 of the season we just completed. Very dizzy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. That pretty much summarizes my week. Hockey, obviously, that started, so that's got me excited. I love some hockey. CBJ home opener happening in 18 minutes. Looking forward to that as well. Well, I think we are going to get to the coaching carousel because wow, what insanity is happening, and I think you're right. We're either through week 6 or 7. It's all blurring together at this point.
It's
but
not even Halloween. That's
right.
how I've been gauging.
There you
this.
go.
Is
There you
it
go,
Halloween
Josh.
or is it not?
I haven't even turned on my heat yet. Like that's where
No.
we're at. Now that's mostly Ohio being too hot still, but
Yeah, and that's me
yeah.
like living down south. I will never. It doesn't turn on.
Right.
know
right. Guys,
what
I
I'd
want
give
to
it
start
to
with Indiana's win over Oregon because in any normal
with good.
week
Let's
we'd be
start with the
talking
good.
about this ad nauseum, and because of the said events that we will discuss later on in the show, that's taking some of the precedence here. We talked very, very briefly last week. We're like, because I think the three of us all expected Oregon to win, but we said, but imagine if. And we don't have to imagine anymore because Indiana beats Oregon in Eugene, which is a significant statement to add to this victory, in Eugene by a score of 30-20. Indiana benefited from winning the turnover battle by 4. Oregon lots of penalties. Oh, wait, nope. That's not how that went down at all. Indiana was the team that threw a pick 6. They lost the turnover battle. Well, probably not because the way the game ended. But needless to say, it's not like this was some fluky Indiana win where they're like +4 in the turnover margin. They're, Oregon's committing unsportsmanlike penalties all over the place. That's not what happened here. Indiana whooped Oregon in the trenches on both sides of the football. Explosive run plays, good quarterback play, minus really the one mistake by Mendoza. This was you take away that pick 6, what's the result of this game? Is it even worse? Is it even more in Indiana's favor? It was almost from beginning to end Indiana being the better team in this game. Again, mind you, in Autzen Stadium, which was the longest home winning streak active in college football. We've now seen in the last 3 weeks the top 3 streaks, that being Washington and Georgia and now Oregon, all of those home winning streaks go down. But this win by Indiana is probably the most significant of them all. That might be the most significant win in college football this season, considering just the names on the helmets, the logos on the helmets. Guys, Indiana is very, very real, and it's quite something to behold.
We are now officially a little bit nervous about Indiana in the potential Big Ten championship game. Tell me in August that Ohio State's biggest concern would be undefeated Indiana Um,
I mean, is their best game remaining
given-
UCLA? And I'm saying that with a dead straight face.
Hey, also,
No, absolutely
yeah, except for maybe, yeah.
Because they play Penn State, but that's the corpse of Penn
Yeah,
State.
the shell of-
That's there's nothing left. No, guys, like, did not all of us predict, not necessarily Indiana to go back to being Indiana, but didn't everybody expect them to take a step back after last year?
I did. Yeah.
You're like, okay, Signetti surprised people.
Yeah.
Nobody saw him coming. They were the
Breakout
plucky
rookie.
underdog. Like, he's not going to be able to bring all those James Madison players with him a second time in the transfer portal. You know, he's going to, like, these are now, you know, recruited guys. These are now second round of transfer portal. Usually that doesn't work for teams. And they're better. They just flat out are better. Not that anybody's questioning that now, because Indiana's 2 losses, guys, since Kirk Signetti's been there, were to last year's national championship participants. Like, they lost on the road in Columbus and on the road in South Bend. Oh, no. I think Sean McDonough personally needs to apologize to Indiana for his comments during that game last year. I believe it was Sean McDonough, because that was totally uncalled for, and it especially now looks ultra dumb. Like, what Kirk Signetti has done is inexplicable to me. Like, he is the worst news for all coaches who have just been hired. Because they'll look at Indiana and say, well, Indiana has no history of doing anything. What's wrong with you? Why can't you do that?
It's the
Which
Iron
is
Man
totally
quote,
unfair.
You know, Tony Stark built this in a cave meme, you know?
Yeah, with a box of spare parts.
Right.
Yeah, like, why can't you? Now, so what he has done, like, let's remember what Indiana is historically. This number 3 ranking is their best ranking ever.
Yeah.
In the expanded playoff, Indiana will be a participant of the first 2 seasons, because, I mean, barring some shocking losses, and I use losses plural, they could afford one.
Yeah.
They will at least be in the college football playoff again, especially with that manageable schedule. It is phenomenal. He went out and got Fernando Mendoza from Cal. This is not a quarterback, and I'm sure he had some other options, but this is not a quarterback that everybody was like, oh, we have to go get him. Now NFL scouts are talking about him being maybe even the number 1 quarterback off the board. And nothing I saw in Eugene, other, again, the pick 6, but it happens, really spoke against that. It is phenomenal how well coached they are, how disciplined they are, how confident. And I think that's the biggest difference. Indiana does not play like they are the little brother, like they're the plucky underdog. They play like they expect to be there. And that is different, because Kurt Signetti expects to be there. I mean, he gave his, I believe it was his offensive coordinator, a little wink in the 3rd quarter of that game when Indiana went up a touchdown, because he knew he had Oregon. And that, I mean, and that dude always has a scowl on his face. So when he did that, I'm like, oh no, this game's done. But it is just so phenomenal. They're balanced on offense. They fly around on defense. There's not a weak point. And this is developmental and coaching. They have no 5 stars.
Yeah.
I think they have 1 4.
To that point, per 24/7 composite score, it's the 72nd most talented roster in the sport. There's only 7 4-stars. There's only 7 4-stars on this roster.
That's coaching.
Yeah, there are 3
It's
spots
coaching.
behind Boston College, who is 1-5.
Yeah, they're on the worst list.
Yeah,
easily. Like, they're not getting off that list probably before the end of the year. Like, it is. I just can't explain what a phenomenal job this has been from Kirk Signetti, and for him to do it in a year and a half. And they're legitimate, not college football playoff contenders, college football championship contenders. if Indiana is in the semifinals or even the final, I will not be surprised now at this point. I won't. It'll look weird. My head will have a hard time wrapping its mind around it, but I will not be surprised because they have done. I can't stop talking about how incredible it is, because I thought this spoke more about Indiana than it did speak ill this game of Oregon. Now, Oregon needs to get better. There's some things for them to clean up, but this game was about Indiana, not about Oregon screwing up, Oregon not being good enough. No, this was Indiana saying, you need to put some respect on our brand and our name, and we're not going anywhere. And for anyone who thinks Kurt Cignetti's leaving Indiana, I have news for you as well. Indiana is not a poverty school or program.
No. Right.
They can match any dollar amount that any other school wants to provide Kurt Cignetti, and probably will. They've just needed a reason to do so. Now they have every reason. I mean, you've seen those stadiums, the Illinois game. That was an insane atmosphere in Indiana. I've never seen Bloomington like that. Usually Ohio State, when they play there, they get half the tickets in the stands. Like, Indiana boosters and everybody has to be thrilled out of their mind. And he's not leaving. I will be shocked. Indiana's the first school who finally gave him a chance at the big time. And why would he leave? Why would he leave? He's number 3 in the country, and he has a chance to win the national title this year. Like, I don't think he goes anywhere.
Yep. It's pretty amazing. And to your point about Oregon, what the ironic part about this is, while Indiana should be the focus of this game, and they are, this actually could help Oregon in the long run. Think about it. Last year in the Rose Bowl, they faced Ohio State to go down 14-0 before most people had even sat back down after the last playoff game. And it almost felt like they didn't know what to do. They were down 14-0 and kind of faced some of their, certainly their most significant adversity in the season. Well, they've already faced that this year. So, it depends on how you want to look at it. The other side of the coin is, wow, Oregon got worked in the trenches. There were some things that were exploited. I trust Oregon. I think, for one, there's just a lot of talent on that roster overall. I think they'll be fine. But, and some tests along the way. I believe they still play USC, still play Washington. So, some chances to get
Much
right.
Tougher schedule.
It's certainly a tougher schedule than Indiana. But it is interesting. I mean, you saw what a loss did for Ohio State last year. You've even seen it with Alabama, frankly. That's another, we can transition to that game just real quickly to talk about Alabama. That's another top 25 win that the Crimson Tide have accumulated. They beat Missouri. It's a good Missouri team. They held the top running back in the country to under 60 yards. Although Missouri was relatively strong on the ground game by just sheer average, but the playmaker that you could not let beat you did not. And the job's not done for Alabama. That is still quite the gauntlet that they face. They now welcome in Tennessee because it's the third weekend in October this week. And Alabama actually opens as almost 10-point favorites, which is a lot of points in my opinion, because I don't think Tennessee is 10-point underdogs. But, that's a great win. You look around the country as well. You have... Well, Texas beats Oklahoma. Josh, we almost had to do a segment. Is Texas back? But they have staved that off for the moment, I think.
Technically,
yeah. They moved 4-2.
And Oklahoma, to John Mateer, they're just too John Mateer reliant.
Yeah,
on offense.
They can't run.
They can't do anything if he's not playing his A game, and that's extremely concerning based on their upcoming schedule.
Yes.
So,
which features a road trip to South Carolina, and you could argue, based on rankings, that is their easiest game remaining.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. But don't see this if you're like looking at Texas of like, oh, okay, they're back, they're good. Like, no. Like, Oklahoma, fatally flawed team, and Texas did a great job of letting Oklahoma implode upon themselves and stand on the, like, as bystanders and then take advantage. So credit to them, But by no means does this mean like, oh, okay, like Texas is good now. Like, no. They're still very vulnerable. They're still struggling to have any explosivity on offense.
You guys even
they have things to
listened
fix.
to our podcast last week. We said rivalry doesn't follow the trends.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
We told you this. Why are you surprised, hypothetical listener? We told you.
Vegas knew too. Texas
knew.
was favored.
Yeah.
Texas was favored.
Yep.
Yeah. And then USC.
Wow.
Exercising some demons.
No kidding.
I mean, finally. I know it was at home, but you finally beat a ranked Big Ten team under Lincoln Riley. And you know how you don't blow a fourth quarter lead?
By having like a 17-point lead going into the fourth.
Exactly. Just be up 17 with like 5 minutes to go. That's how you don't blow those one possession games.
Yeah.
Don't let it be a one possession game. And they fully dominated Michigan in that one.
Yeah. I thought that win was very significant for USC. And I don't know how good Michigan is. Like, talk about a fatally flawed team. Yeah. Wow. I don't know if we'll have time to talk about where Michigan is at as a program right now. We'll find out in the next few weeks. But for USC, it not only did you win a game against a good Big Ten opponent, against a ranked Big Ten opponent, it was also the manner in which you did it. You out-Michiganed Michigan in that game. We talked about Indiana winning in the trenches. I tweeted this out live watching it at Fifth Goal Sports on Twitter. USC is winning in the trenches. Breaking news. A Lincoln Riley-led team is winning in the trenches on both sides of the football. And it's not like they don't have great skill position players and a really, really solid quarterback who was great for most of that game. So I also called it. If you listened last week, I felt actually pretty good about USC winning that game against Michigan, and they did. They were even more impressive than I think I was expecting. So they jumped quite a bit in the 5th and goal poll. Where did we end up with them? They're at number 16 in our poll right now. So, and with obviously big game against Notre Dame. They traveled to South Bend as well. Yeah, but that was something. Now that's going to feel a lot less good if you just fall flat against a very good Notre Dame team. So this is how you have to prove it. And now Notre Dame's not a Big Ten game, obviously, but you're in the Big Ten, so this kind of stuff happens where you're facing Michigan, and then you have to go to Notre Dame. That's the way it works. There's life in the Power 2, if you will. A lot of other stuff. Yeah, exactly. A lot of other stuff happening this week in college football. That's where we'll leave it for now, because there is so much to talk about this week upcoming, and a certain happening in State College. So let's move to the James Franklin stuff, and then we'll kind of come back and finish out this segment by talking about a lot of really important games this week in college football, because as we know, every week in college football is great. Number one, the first thought, and
great meaning
ridiculous.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Everyone defines greatness.
I have, not necessarily great as in I had. Not in the sense of everybody can say at the end of each week, I had a great time this weekend.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, the first
person.
Oh,
sorry, you first.
Oh, sorry. The first primary thing to know is that it's not James Franklin's fault. It's Northwestern's. Lovie Smith's last loss at Illinois was to Northwestern. Scott Frost's last loss at Nebraska was to Northwestern. So it's not James Franklin's fault. He's just a victim of Northwestern. Aren't we all? Mm-hmm. Nope.
Yes.
Well, no, we're not.
Well, hey, let him.
It's just the end, though. If you were losing to Northwestern, it's just like, it's the end.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
Guys, I am surprised that he was fired, in the sense that I was surprised Penn State was willing to write the check for this. Mm-hmm. I was not surprised that he was fired. We'll get into this. There's a lot of different thoughts on this. I mean, this is one of the most significant coach firings in college football, certainly this season, but in recent memory, I would say. Mm-hmm. I'll open it up. Josh, I know you've got some thoughts on this, so I'll give it to you. My thought here is there are some people that are saying, well, look at the wins. 9 wins here, 10 wins this season, 11 wins this season. Like, are you going to be able to find that kind of consistent winning elsewhere? And the answer may very well be no. But here's the thing. Number one, those same people that are saying, well, 9, 10, 11 wins, that's pretty good. Like, why would Penn State fire him? Those are the same people that were criticizing the Big Ten, and maybe they were correct in this. They were criticizing the Big Ten for not being a strong conference. Now you're saying, well, 9, 10, 11 wins, that's pretty good. Well, which one is it? Is that good? Or is the Big Ten strong? Like, what are we doing? And the second thing is, it's not crazy expectations that fans have that got him fired. And we talked about this with Ryan Day last year. It is the internal program's expectations that Penn State was to win the Big Ten, was to win a big game against Oregon or Ohio State in the regular season. We're going to make the playoff and make it to a national championship game. That's nothing that internally that program did not have as an expectation. And when you fall that flat, like we're talking about a Penn State team, and I'm not inside that locker room. So I don't know what the situation is, whether it's the players giving up, whether, whatever the deal is. This is a team still, even without Franklin, that is trending to potentially not even making a bowl game. It depends on how, how flat they want to fall. It's their own internal expectations that got him fired because he's been there for 12 years.
One of the things that, from what I can see, many people being surprised about additionally on that, on the tails of that discussion, Aaron, normally these types of firings happen in between seasons. Penn State, Blue Bloods don't panic like this. And I'm not saying Penn State panicked, but a mid-season firing does smell of some sort of fear that the locker room's being lost, the boosters are losing, XYZ. And we'll get into some allegations in a second. But one of the biggest things, people have been joking about this for the past 3 weeks. All right. We remember these discussions after the Oregon loss. Oh, Penn State lost another big game. And I saw some of the early conversations on the message boards being, okay, we lost to Oregon. He can't win big games. He'll most likely lose to Ohio State. And maybe if he ekes it out, he won't have enough to make a long playoff run. Again, we're eschewing any talk of the playoffs until November, but
right.
We still thought 10-2 was probably what they're going to get.
10-2 is going to be fine. Yeah. And we're like that. You might be able to squeak in and get hot. This is literally what happened to Ohio State. So cool. And then with the thumping that you received at UCLA, the jokes started coming. Little Game James. I made this joke last week. It's a great joke. But you saw an even bigger, hey, we need this guy fired. And even more so that this past Saturday afternoon, you're seeing all this, oh, we need to be fired. As much as I love fans can, and when I say can, most of the time are stupid. Emotional, petty, vindictive, all of these things. I am one of them.
As they're supposed to be.
Fan is short for fanatic. They are supposed to be irrational. Behind the scenes, behind closed doors, when you have an institution, and I mean that in every connotation you want to bring it up, when you have an institution that is Penn State, that's at or near blue blood status, depending on how you want to define it, they don't make these types of moves. They will do this off season. They will let him run it out. They'll tell him, hey, project confidence because we still got to try and get people in next year.
Yeah.
And anytime someone asks, you do the standard, well, I'm not talking about that. I'm committed to this program. And everyone knows, okay, that means you have 6 months. You played, normally, this is what happens. You played the game. Oh, I'm committed. This is what the board did. This is what the board's departure from Washington and into Alabama is exactly how things normally go for these strong of programs. So this was a shock that, at least to me, from what I saw, that Penn State would do this mid-season. Because this is something that they know now Now they could UCLA themselves and win out.
Seems
I'm not saying
unlikely.
that's not possible. Seems unlikely, but we said that about UCLA firing
Fair
everybody
point.
for 4 weeks ago or 4 weeks in.
Yeah.
So like, the only reason I'm saying I'll give them 10% because I've already seen what season has transpired so far, and I'm not going to give them any. I'm not giving any Josh guarantees. But that being said, most likely Penn State is risking, and I've already seen a few decommits.
Yeah.
I forget what their talent rating was, but regardless of that, they're going to lose commits. They're going to lose, and for the next year or two, they're going to lose current players to the portal. If Drew Aller, and we've not even talked about how tragic the
Yeah.
Drew Aller injury is, season ending. Like, if he gets healthy, and I forget, does he have another year of eligibility?
No, he's done.
because it's too many games
done.
played this year. Yep, that's it.
So
A brutal way to
Yeah.
end a college
Yeah,
career.
that's-
I
Yeah.
mean, felt awful for him.
yeah,
Yeah.
best case scenario for him is that he gets healthy enough to try and maybe make it, have an
Practice
okay
squad,
showing
probably.
at exactly, practice squad. See if he can work his way up. That's best
Late
case
draft
scenario
pick.
right now. Late draft pick if he can get healthy in time for a combine. But that's it. But so there's a lot of things that go on. A fan can say, "Oh, we want him fired." We talked about this with Day last year after the Michigan loss. We'd say that, and in the back of our minds, we know these things don't happen
Right.
the way we might want them. And so now we have a situation where you have a lot of guys mid-season now going, "Oh shoot, my job is now in jeopardy." Not saying that's right or wrong. That's the unfortunate reality of something as transient as college athletics. There's very few people who stay. Increasingly, there's a decreasing number of people who stay 20, 30, 40 years, especially when it comes to assistants. It's not impossible, but we're getting more transient with this stuff. All that being said, there were immediately rumors that Penn State, who will be starting a contract with Adidas next year, 2026. I don't know if that's fiscal year, if that's season, doesn't matter. Mike Asti on Twitter, that's at Mike Asti11, has sources that say Adidas drove the Franklin firing, saying that the administration, of course, had people internally who wanted him gone, but that Adidas, I've seen nothing concrete that says they would have foot the bill. As a real quick thing, he's not getting $50 million. $50 million has some sort of mitigation clause in the sense of he has to be looking for work.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
Very normal
this is
in a lot of these contracts.
because Penn State is not coughing up $50 million. No, like, if they had to be willing to at least get something up there, but he's a good enough coach to get hired at, like, I don't know, maybe North Carolina or something. We've not even followed that story as
Oh,
much.
man.
Oh, boy.
Honestly, any other of these openings would probably hire him, and it would be an upgrade right now. Current
Looking at you,
opening.
Michigan State
Right.
specifically.
Mm-hmm. Keep it in the league. Come on, keep it in the fan.
I mean, I'm being like, I actually think that could. We'll
like-
see. I mean, it's a little early maybe for
Yeah.
that conversation with Michigan State, but I actually think that could be great for Michigan
Move
State.
Say,
slightly
but say
west,
what you
yeah.
want. Like we're saying, okay, we understand why Penn State had to move on. That does not mean James Franklin is not, to me, at least probably he's a top 20 coach
Yeah.
in college football. Like
Yeah,
that
he
doesn't
still
mean
built
it's not
a powerhouse.
it's not the best or awful like we like to
No.
categorize
No.
things. Like he's a very good coach. Like that Virginia Tech job's open. Virginia Tech should go get him if they can.
Yeah.
That would be a great hire for Virginia Tech. Like, oh no, he struggled to win big games. Virginia Tech, you haven't been in a big game in like 15 years. Wouldn't you love to
Perfect
be
prime.
like, man, those big games sound fun. I'd love to be part of one someday.
Yeah.
Like that's how the Virginia Tech fan feels right now. So UCLA upgrade, Arkansas upgrade. Like he would be an upgrade at all of these places. Now I'm not saying they'll hire him, or maybe he doesn't even want a job right away. Like maybe he wants a year off. I wouldn't blame him for that. But yeah, to your point, Josh, like Penn State, one, you pay these in installments. Two, the buyout changes if he's not working, and it changes also if he is working, because let's say Virginia Tech hires him and they're paying him, like they sign him to a $34 million contract. Well, Penn State's now only going to pay him roughly $16 million to go away. So it's not the same thing. And this has never been more financially feasible than it is now for these athletic programs, which is why when they cry poor, don't buy it.
Yeah.
Don't buy it.
If they have
Always
$50 million to
find
tell
some
a
way.
coach to go away, they're lying. They can.
Which is why, and real quick, I want to make sure that I dispel this. That's partially why people don't believe that Penn State could come up with that cash, which is why these Adidas rumors are starting to fly. Now,
I think they could.
did they exercise some soft power? There's a good chance. As far as cash wise, I actually have a copy of every single Penn State, or sorry, of every single Adidas like compensation offer in the past few years. The big ones, we have Texas Tech, Nebraska, Washington, and Indiana. The sponsorship payments, this is not total contract, and this is where I think people are starting to kind of get things mixed up. Adidas does not give, I forget what the details, I don't have the details of the Penn State one, but they're not getting $50 million, so to speak, in just cold hard cash. They're getting helmets, gear,
Right.
advertising, and some, as in the language of the contract, base compensation. Texas Tech started their contract this year. They're going to stay, last season rather. They're getting paid $500,000 in base compensation per year from Adidas. The big two are Nebraska and Washington. They're getting increases of about 150,000 each year. So they're both getting about $5 million a season in base compensation. That's about as big as I can see. Indiana, as a side note, probably making out great, or Adidas is making out great with them. Indiana, it gets $1.6 million this year from Adidas, and Adidas is loving that investment. So we got to be careful here. Most likely, Adidas did not go up and offer the equivalent of like a LeBron shoe contract.
Get rid of your coach. Here's a check. That's
right.
not.
That's
not
what happens. Additionally, Penn State very quietly let their Nike contract end and move into Adidas. So there's already some things where I don't think Adidas is worried about either losing Penn State or having Penn State make them look bad. Again, we got to think, and Johnny's going to be a better expert in this than I am. Adidas don't need one football team. They don't need American football. They got every other type of football out there. They're doing
No, they
fine.
just want to be.
Yeah. Now they want to be. But I can't see them being so desperate that they're going to go, hey, let's cough up $50 million in cash in order to pay off this contract.
Right.
And two, if that were to ever come out, that private equity, in a sense, is controlling college football outcomes in this manner.
Oh gosh.
Oh, we revolt.
We'll have to get into that eventually.
Yeah.
Probably not on this
Right.
episode.
Yeah,
Not
we were
this
actually moving past
episode.
the part where we're keeping it keeping it private and just say, "Hey, we're doing this. Companies, help us destroy college football collectively."
Yeah.
What about the shareholders?
Yeah, we're now entering who will Penn State hire territory. And I want to go back to something you said, Johnny, because I'm with you. Number one, I don't think it matters what job is open. I do agree that I think Indiana can match or get pretty darn close to it, the monetary value of any school. I think, obviously Indiana has not historically been a great football program. In fact, I believe they lead the NCAA in losses as a program.
They do. They do.
Not Cignetti's fault. So he's just doing great. I was talking to a friend about this week, and we were, of course, talking about it because what else is there to talk about other than this? And I think to say this 3 weeks ago, I think you both would rightfully look at me sideways. I think Indiana's a better job right now than Penn State. And so much of that is like credit to Cignetti. And you know what? Maybe we'll find out next year. Like, who knows what Indiana does this year? They look like they're destined for greatness, or at the very least a playoff bid. And maybe next year they're like transfer portal class doesn't hit, or and they kind of fall back to earth, relatively speaking, because I think falling back to earth for Cignetti is like 8-4 at this point. Would you rather be at Indiana, where everything you do is the best that it's ever been done in program history, or would you rather walk into an environment which, fairly so, expects you to at least win 10 games, beat Ohio State, beat, frankly, everyone on your schedule, win the Big Ten, win a national championship? As amazing as Cignetti has been, those expectations are not there. Yeah, they will get there because of the way he's developing that program, but they're not there yet. Penn State's first call should be to Cignetti. But
it should be. It should be.
I don't see him answering. Well, he may answer the call. Let's be reasonable here. Answer the call. But I don't see him saying yes to that. There's another issue. Johnny, you put together a list of current openings. Virginia Tech.
I wanted to make sure we read
UCLA,
those 6 games
Arkansas,
in, which is nuts.
Stanford, Oregon State, UAB, and Kent State. And by the way, good for Kent State, just blowing the doors off of UMass. Good for them. First FBS win in quite some time. Now, UMass is horrible.
I don't think I've seen a team clinch the worst crown so early in mid-October. In the season.
It's over already.
Oh, man.
It's
over.
Already.
It's not close.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, my.
Here's some jobs that will be open potentially by the end of the month. Florida. I mean, they could polished off this week. Wisconsin could get polished off this week. A blowout to Ohio State may just do it for Luke Fickell.
That's just a matter of if, not when.
Correct.
With those two.
Yeah. What was it? 37-0 loss to Iowa. That is just terrible. Terrible. Auburn. They're 0-3. That's a tough loss to Georgia. They're 0-3 in the SEC, I should say. They're going to have a hard time winning a conference game at all. Some flaws on offense. And Florida State. I'm going to throw that. I mean, you listed this team, Johnny. I don't know if they actually part with Mike Norvell, only because his buyout is more than James Franklin.
Yeah.
But if
I don't think they actually do have the cash to do it.
Maybe not. Look, if I love imagining that we can time travel in college football. It's one of my favorite hypotheticals. When the SEC does it, they've won 20 million national championships in the period of 15 years. When I do it, I go back to a Florida State fan in 2023. After a great year, an undefeated year, and I say, you're not going to believe this, but you guys are actually going to go 400 days between ACC victories, and they'd probably look at you, slightly quizzical look on their face, and say, "Wow, well, we're probably playing in the Big Ten. I guess we got out of the grant of rights from the ACC. It's good news for us." And I say, I wish. Nope, it's that you'll not win a game in your own conference it's not quite 400 days, but we're getting there. Mike Norvell, without Jordan Travis, is now 7-21 at Florida State. Another loss this week to Pittsburgh. I'm getting very sidetracked. This is a James Franklin conversation. I know I haven't. I realize we're still. The reason I say that, all of those teams I just mentioned will also be vying for the top names on Penn State's potential list. And
not Kent State and UAB.
Well, yes. I'm talking more the Virginia Techs, the Auburns, the Floridas. But maybe. I mean, UAB
we
hired
love the Golden Flashes.
UAB, after hiring Trent Dilfer, they could hire anyone.
No, I don't.
They can hire you,
anybody
Johnny.
Wants to go there after that. The hire made no sense in the moment.
No, it didn't.
That scares people away.
Yeah.
To be that chaotic. Oh, Aaron, I didn't even list on here the most obvious one. North Carolina.
Yeah.
That's a good game. That's a very good.
Right.
Well, I don't know if it's a good spot. It should be a good spot.
Right. You have to be over 70. That's the only qualifier.
Oh, gosh. Fired Mac Brown for this joke.
Yeah.
But all that to say, I don't remember 6 games in this many high-profile jobs already open. Now, I understand Kent State and Stanford, those are interim coaches for the season.
Yep.
It's a little unique. That's different. But Arkansas, UCLA, Virginia Tech, Penn State, those are well-known brands.
Yep.
In and I mean, we'll see if Skipper gets a chance just to keep the UCLA job. If that keeps, we need to give him more credit. I love New Heisel. That's a great story. But guys, Skipper is the interim head coach. I think people need to remember that.
Yeah.
New Heisel's just the OC, which he's doing great. Like, he's doing great. There's lots of praise to go around. Let's just make sure we give it to all of them. Like, he might just keep that job the way he's like, if he keeps it up, I don't know how you don't just hire the man. Like, if they keep winning, obviously they're not going to win out. But if they do, they're in the Big Ten title game. They only have one conference loss, and that is to Northwestern. By the way, the bearer of bad news is Northwestern. But it's unbelievable. So Penn State, I've heard a ton of names. I've heard Matt Rule because he's originally from Pennsylvania. I believe he's even a Penn State grad. Like, I understand that. I don't know if he'd leave. I understand him being on your list, though. People have been like, oh, you have to call Dan Lanning. Okay, I get it. Like, you call, he's not leaving.
I mean, I can call whoever I want to call.
Right.
The Reds can call Shohei Ohtani. Like, we can do all these hypothetical, like, come on.
Yeah, the Savannah Bananas can call
Sure.
Shohei, and they're not, he's not going to come play. But I understand to a point, and you call Signetti. Of course you do. Like, it would be malpractice to not ask, because he should be the number one guy. You call Matt Rule. I get it. But I think in recent memory, the elite programs, and Penn State is an elite program, they should not be going after second string head coaches, if you will. I actually would look at a program that's incredibly well run, that has a history of success sending assistants to other places and them leading good programs. And I would look at elevating one of them. Like happened with Kirby Smart, like happened with Ryan Day, and actually Dabo Sweeney a long time ago. Now, he was an interim and then he got hired, but he was originally just a coordinator at Clemson. And I haven't heard this name yet, and I'm really happy. I was listening to a lot of college football stuff today, and I'm like, nobody say this name. I want this, Jim Knowles. I want to be the one who says this name, and it's Will Stein at Oregon. I think that would be a phenomenal hire for Penn State. Why? What has Penn State lacked really for a very long time? Not just under James Franklin, but specifically under James Franklin, is the quarterback position. What has Will Stein been brilliant with so far at Oregon under Dan Lanning? He has developed every single quarterback who's come in, and they've all been transfers. Bo Nix, he gets him from Auburn. He's got to throw him in right away. So, and then Dante Moore, he gets 2 years, but Dante Moore didn't start last year. And a lot of people thought UCLA broke him. So you have Dylan Gabriel, you have Bo Nix, now you have Dante Moore. I know he didn't play great this last Saturday, but that's revisionist history. That's like getting too caught up in the momentary highs and lows. I think Will Stein would be a phenomenal hire for Penn State. I think it would be a good fit. I think it would elevate the offense at a program that is known for its defensive prowess historically and currently. I don't think you'll struggle to have a good defensive coordinator there. And I think that could elevate Penn State, because that's what you're looking for. Somebody with the potential to elevate. Now, next year will probably be a dip, but you want the potential of getting above where you just were. So in my mind, and this is not disparaging, guys, hiring a Manny Diaz is not helpful. That's really just kind of a rerun.
Yep.
Like, the defense will be outstanding under Manny, no question. But unless he hits the offensive coordinator role out of the park, they will be right back to where they were. And so I would love them to hire a young, talented coordinator with an offensive mind like a Will Stein out at Oregon. So that would be my pick. But if you ask me to bet some money, I bet they hire Manny Diaz from Duke. And he deserves it. Like, he's doing great things at Duke. They're actually favored at home against Georgia Tech this week, which is wild. Mm-hmm. But I would go differently if I was Penn State. But we'll see.
Yeah, and Josh, you had talked about the timing of this, like it being done mid-season compared to the end, and I'm with you. Like that's pretty wild, and I have to wonder, like, is it because there's already so many openings? Like, if you wait till the end of the season, are you going to feel like you're behind the 8 ball? I don't necessarily know the answer to that. I don't know if that's even a legitimate question.
You guys
to
said
ask,
though
but
On the other
they
side,
quit.
they did.
You
gravity
guys
of a
said it.
situation,
Like that.
yeah.
Those teams quit like the last 2 games.
The other
Yeah,
point
I
I'll
think
make
the other
too,
thing
and then
is-
sorry,
yeah.
go ahead, Josh.
I was gonna say, to that point, the idea, maybe on the positive side, the conspiracy side is Adidas paid them off. The hey, everybody shut up for like 3 seconds thought is such a risky move from such a historically like, hey, we want to be a little bit more stable than this team.
Yeah.
Or administration is they probably have some strategy involved. They have an internal short list. They probably have had an internal short list
They better.
for longer
They
than we've thought. Now,
So their jobs.
have I just seen? Were we talking pre-show about how the Browns have not had an ounce of patience since 1999? Of course we were. Aaron or Johnny asked me, "Hey Josh, I wasn't paying attention to the Steelers win," and I said against the Browns, which has been pretty much every time I can just say that, unless it's Baker Mayfield and the Browns. Other than the Browns and I'm trying to think of who else has been overly.
Awful.
Most teams have a little bit more foresight than the next 2.5 weeks.
Oh, well, the
So-
Titans, Josh. The Titans
Oh.
have fired like 2 vice presidents of football operations, 2 GMs, 2 head coaches in the last like 3 years.
But
So-
they've been
Now,
smart
here's
and
the thing.
staggered it, so it
Yes.
just is a painful process. Like they're slowly ripping the Band-Aid off, but it's like a 10-foot Band-Aid.
It's a 10-year rebuild process, Johnny. You don't understand.
Oh,
the
you're
40
right. You're right.
chess that they're
Yep.
pulling in Nashville.
Yeah.
Oof.
They thought they had
wow.
something with all of those fun memes last year with Will Levis. So
Yeah, right. Josh, that's the age-old
no.
thing. If you're going to be bad, at least be funny. And the Titans aren't
Be
funny this
funny
year.
about
They were
it.
funny last year. They're not funny this
Yeah.
year, and you're just
I feel
sad.
bad for Cam Ward.
Yeah.
It's not his
it's
fault.
the power of friendship. One of the best archetypes you see in movies and TV is the bumbling idiot who you still want to see do well. Like you can get away with a lot if you're good natured about it. And if the Titans were to be like, oh dude, we went 2-14, but like I don't know, we posted some falling memes with Sora this year, and I'm not saying, we talked about this last year how bad it is, but if you can make a few Sora memes about Will Levis just falling and like I don't know to like a trap beat, my goodness, you're selling out that stadium.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's how I'll save the Tennessee Titans. Anyway,
Perfect. I love how many. You never know. We're still talking about James Franklin, by the way. If you just tune in just there, I'll wrap it up
yeah,
with
hire
this.
Will Levis.
Right. That's how it's related. Will Levis. We've come full circle. I'll wrap it up with this, just because I think the tendency in a coaching search when someone gets fired is, okay, interesting. We'll see who comes in and like elevates this Penn State program. That may not happen. Like this could end up being that Penn State is like has a rough stretch and like 7-5 one year is actually like a really good year for them. I don't know if I expect that. I think there's maybe too much in place for them to completely fall apart. But I also say that as a Buckeye fan, when that just has not happened for Ohio State, look, it's happened everywhere else almost, other than like Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. Like, is there another team that even fits that category? I mean, maybe Utah, but even Utah, look at last year. I mean, Oklahoma's had some down years. Texas, we were wondering if they were back for a decade. USC, they disappeared, and they're maybe not even back yet. We think they might be. Notre Dame had Brian Kelly, so that was what they had to deal with. I mean, all of these teams have had just some really, really rough years. Michigan, all of the blue, I'm talking all blue bloods, have had some really down years. And it's notable that James Franklin, short of this year, did not have that. But it also means there's no guarantee that could not, Penn State could fall into that category next year, especially if this season continues to nosedive. The season is over in terms of all of their expectations are out the window, as is their head coach. But the trajectory of how they finish will make a difference for next year through recruiting, through just building something positive moving into next year. So there's no guarantee that Manny Diaz comes in and they go 10-2 next year. That doesn't mean that this was the wrong decision. I think there's a lot of people, at least that I've seen online, saying, well, oh, you don't know what's going to happen to Penn State next year. You guys are going to be sorry when Penn State goes 5-7 next year. I don't think they will be. I don't think the fan base will be, because this has been a painful process.
Yeah.
James Franklin did not meet the expectations that program had, so he was removed. And I think that's totally fine and legitimate. Some of the circumstances, the money involved, the timing, it's important factors to consider. But Penn State going 5-7 next year, if that happens, does not mean that they made the wrong decision here. Because Franklin was not going to get Penn State to a Big Ten championship consistently or beyond. It just was not going to happen. My final point I'll say is I am curious if they had let Franklin go the rest of the year and it continues to nosedive. Would Franklin have left on his own accord? Because in the spring...
I don't know. That's a lot of money.
I think it's a lot of money. And two, you have a weird year. Like, if you brought them, we have the joke of, oh, little game James, or little big game James was what he used to be known as. Remember when? You are a playoff contender last year.
Semifinals
Last year. Like, this is not he squeaked in. This isn't an SMU, oh, thanks for coming, appreciate you showing up. Like, everybody has bad, weird years.
Yep.
Like, we've talked about this.
They put so much on this year, though.
Sure, and that's also partially on them, on Franklin. Franklin himself said, "This is the team. This is the coaches. These are the coaches. This is the team. This is the quarterback."
Yeah.
And again, if they go, let's say these are their only 3 losses. Again, this is within the range of what Penn State hired him for. It's down, and maybe you retool, but I don't think this is... I pulled this stat and again, we're going to go into hypotheticals, and I love me some hypotheticals. Pulled this up, I think, at Reddit CFB on Twitter said this. You guys may have already seen this. Last November. Remember last November? But the good times, pre the game. I remember those, where we were just a little bit nervous, but not too much. Ohio State in Penn State, 2013 victory. Penn State led 10-0. And when they were down a score, they were first and goal from the 3 to tie late in the fourth quarter. If they convert, either tie, go to overtime, hold that lead, most likely, the 2 other losses Ohio State had, well, obviously the first loss would have been there. Ohio State most likely also loses to Michigan. Missed the playoffs, 3-loss team. Could have been fired. You now put Penn State, again, big game James. This puts them in a better position to beat, let's say, I don't know, Oregon. And they're 2 in the brackets. Like, there's again, big hypotheticals, and we're going to laugh at the SEC while they do this. Oh, that Texas would put $1 billion on Indiana. $1 billion in negative yards.
Yeah.
$1 billion sacks received by Indiana.
Listen,
Like,
as a
there's
Buckeye
lot
fan,
of-
none of us want anything to do with Indiana right now. Like, no one. No one
one's
should
playing.
be
No,
asking for that.
No one should be.
No.
But you have about $100 million that was decided in 3 yards not gained. About a year ago. And so, like, again, this is just the fluidity that I see with, like, I couldn't tell you if James leaves, if James, we're on a first name basis, poor guy. If Franklin leaves on his own accord, I don't see it. There's so many we're so close notices here. Yeah, people are tired of it, but if Harbaugh got to keep his job, he was on the hot seat. But he was on the hot seat with much more intensity than Franklin has. Now Franklin's been there longer. He was there 13 years versus I forget how long Harbaugh was, not as long. So who knows? But I really don't see Franklin leaving on his own accord after this year, or them moving to fire him.
Right. I mean, if he loses to the Oregon game, loses Ohio State, loses their first playoff game, goes 10-3.
Probably doesn't get fired.
No, doesn't get fired.
Probably doesn't get fired.
Probably not.
Now
The noise increases, but doesn't get fired.
I bet the contract
No.
gets reworked,
Yeah, maybe.
but he
sure.
doesn't get fired. Like, he doesn't.
No.
Like, because I think it would have been similar to Ohio State. If Ohio State had
Right.
lost to Tennessee last year in that first round game, I don't think Ryan Day gets fired.
Nope.
And I think we even said in the moment, we're like, unless this goes nuclear, basically
Right.
the equivalent of what happened to Penn State against UCLA and Northwestern,
Right.
he's not getting fired. And that's why he got fired. You cannot lose to those two teams in the way you lost with your team quitting, because your team showing up, being present talent-wise, should have beaten those two teams. Like, it's pretty inexcusable. And I don't say that just because I bet on Penn State to actually cover those games. But like, I know we got to move on from college football, but I did want to make sure that we touched on if you stayed up for the shenanigans in that Auburn Georgia game.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Go ahead and
I would just
intentionally didn't study this one.
I would like to reiterate from the beginning what our stance has been when it comes to officiating in general, really, but specifically college football. We're about to hammer the refs. However, my solution to this is pay the refs more, institute some more standards, give them, put them through more rigorous training,
Make them
actually
full-time
have
employees.
recruiting academies, make them full-time, pay them more, support them more, and then make them more accountable. Because the coaches have to answer after the game questions, and if they say anything wrong, they get fined thousands of dollars. And if the players say anything afterwards, they could get suspended or disciplined. I actually, in the moment, I was like, okay, maybe that's ridiculous. But when Auburn's athletic director is chewing out the officials walking into the locker room at halftime, I was like, I'm on his side.
Yeah.
I am actually on his side. And anyone who says otherwise, listen, like, these outcomes affect people's jobs. Like, Hugh Freeze losing that game may cost him his job.
Yep.
And everybody else at Auburn on that coaching staff's job. These things matter. It is real life in some senses, what happens on the football field. And so for this to be so horribly officiated, and if you watch the game, you literally wouldn't have had to know anything about football to know something's wrong here. Like, what's going on? The last 2 minutes of the first half of Ole Miss, I almost said, well, that was a bad officiating game a couple years ago. Georgia and Auburn took 40 minutes. It took over 40 minutes real time, and not because of commercials. For once, I'm not ranting about commercials. I don't even think there was a commercial.
It would have been better if there
Would
was.
have been. Actually, would have.
It would have been better.
For
I
once
would have
we're
gotten
siding with the
less
corporations.
angry. It was one of the most angry moments I think I've gotten in a game that I don't really have a dog in the fight that I've been in a long time. Okay, you want to argue about whether, the goal line was crossed or not for Auburn to go up 17-0, which would have ended Georgia. It would have been done. They couldn't do anything. And Aaron, who was that guy who tweeted at one point, momentum's not a real thing, it's just
Oh my gosh.
imaginary?
Right.
I show him this game.
Yeah.
This game proves that theory completely false. It's wrong, sir.
See wins.
Incorrect.
Come
So-
on, it's imaginary. Grow up.
One, he crossed the goal line,
I said
and the
I wasn't
pylon
gonna say
cam clearly shows it to me. I don't know what the officials are looking at. But two, it's either a Georgia touchdown or an Ole Miss touchdown. There are two outcomes here. There's no in between. But the more egregious one, and there were a lot of egregious calls that we don't have the time to go into all of them, was when Kirby Smart lied to the officials. He calls a timeout, and then he BS's his way with the officials to say, no, I was just clapping. I meant to start, Aaron, the podcast like this. I'm just clapping.
Yeah, everyone
I'm not
claps
calling
like
a
this.
timeout. This isn't a
This is the normal way to
universal
clap.
sign.
Yep.
If only there were a universal sign for a coach to call a timeout that we all knew what they meant. Like, that is absurd that Georgia didn't get called for a delay of game and didn't get charged a timeout. They got a free timeout. And the officials kept resetting the play clock and pausing Ole Miss. I keep saying Ole Miss. Auburn on offense. No wonder, Auburn self-destructed. But part of the reason they also couldn't get a rhythm is because the refs keep stopping the game in the second half. They kept stopping the game time after time after time. The targeting call was egregious. But it's absurd. It was just so awful. Kirby Smart should have been fined. I doubt he will, but he should be fined for that because he knew exactly what he was doing. That is ridiculous. And it's ridiculous that the officials basically were letting Kirby tell them what was going on in the game, and they were just listening to him. I can't imagine being an Auburn fan watching that and not feeling absolutely robbed. If Georgia just comes back and beats you, that hurts enough.
Right.
But that was some bull crap, man. That was wrong.
Yeah.
That was wrong, and these officials will not be held accountable, which is even more wrong.
Yep.
They should be suspended or some sort of real repercussions, and more should happen than just a nice letter from the SEC
Whoops.
on Wednesday. Whoops, sorry. And it's the second time this year that Auburn's gotten, clearly wronged by the officials. Man, sorry, Aaron. I was just so angry watching this game. Tweeting through the anger if you were following on Twitter.
It's a common sentiment and a correct one at that, I would say. All right. There's a lot more thoughts we could have given. There may be a lot of thoughts that you have on this discussion. So hit us up on Twitter, or X, as some people like to call it, at Fifth Goal Sports.
If you call it X, I think it's fair to say thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you listen this
Sometimes
far into the show,
the guys make
whatever
picks based
episode
on
we're
their
on,
vast knowledge of sports. Sometimes they make picks based on vibes.
Josh, why do you like journalism specifically?
It's because it's a concept, and it's like, I don't know. I just think for me, it's like a horse learning how to not only write, not only write and edit, but also do some sort of in-field reporting. And I just like the idea of a horse with a little voice recorder.
Holds a mic up to the other horses.
Either way, they're probably going to be wrong. It's time for Picks of the Week.
One of the concepts that has happened in baseball that has become a reality is the ghost runner on second base during the regular season. Which on one hand I get, you don't want to completely tax your bullpen. It's a long season. But also we were doing that for 100 years. So I think we could probably grow up and figure it out. Because we had a 15-inning epic game between the Mariners and the Tigers to decide a spot in the American League Championship Series, which is ongoing. Seattle winning Game 1 in Toronto. All that to say, we picked some baseball a couple weeks ago. We're tracking it. So that was a pretty wild contest. You also had a Game 5 in the NLDS between two divisional opponents, the Cubs and the Brewers. And the Brewers quite literally flew the L against the Cubs in Game 5. So Brewers moving on, and really we're all just hoping that it's not the Dodgers. It could be any of the other three teams. Even as a Reds fan, I'd say go Brewers, beat the Dodgers.
But ideally an AL team.
Yeah. Ideally either Toronto or ideally Seattle, really. I mean, I think that's...
Yeah, I don't really know why, but I really want Seattle to win too.
Well, I know why.
Well,
Humpy.
His first victory. See,
If
this
you don't
is
know what
why
we're
the
talking about,
Reds are
that probably sounded
bad.
like a wild sentence.
This is me and Aaron were talking about this the other day. The reason the Reds are bad is if you go to a Cincinnati Reds game, every team does this, by the way. At some point in the baseball game, they have a race between all their mascots because every baseball team for some reason has like 5 mascots now. And they race around the bases. Some teams have real mascots running around the bases. And some teams just have it digitally on the scoreboard. The Reds have it digitally on the scoreboard. And this is why they're bad. Not because of me, but because of the mascots not being physically on the field, racing around it to determine a winner authentically.
Right.
Not just some predetermined
garbage.
random cartoon. I want to see salmon, a salmon run like we did at Seattle. That's outstanding. That is phenomenal. They deserve to win just because of that.
Right.
Go Humpy.
I mean, the Nationals have largely been bad the last 10, 15 years. They have a World Series title in that time. You know why?
Yep.
Not because of Bryce Harper, because he wasn't there. It's because president race.
President race.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I mean, that's the question: are the Dodgers going to repeat? Is there anyone that can stand in their way? I mean, I think the Brewers have the pitching staff, and they've got to line up well enough. I don't know. We'll see. We'll hope and pray. Thoughts and prayers. My teams are out. I don't even remember who we picked. I just know my teams are gone.
I have Mariners.
You've
in
got
the
Mariners.
World Series.
Josh, are you alive?
I didn't have them winning.
Did
Oh
I
no,
Blue
wait!
Jays?
I
think
did have the
think I Blue
Mariners
Jays.
winning the World Series.
Wow.
I had them winning it.
I'm looking at it.
Well, okay, feeling pretty
What did
good.
we pick? When was that?
I mean, I had the Phillies on the
Well,
other side.
Yeah, I had the Phillies winning the whole thing.
I have Mariners
that's-
winning the whole thing. So
That's when we picked Oregon to
doing okay.
That's Oregon Penn State. Yep, I
Yep.
went to that one too. We're doing great.
Yep. So this is episode 12, I think, is what we're on, or where those picks came from. We're so into this that okay. I had Phillies
Yeah.
over
Oh my
Yankees.
gosh.
That
Oh,
wow.
I'm still alive.
Yeah. Blue Jays over
What are you
Dodgers.
live with,
Josh.
Josh, what the heck?
Wow.
Blue Jays over Dodgers?
Wow.
Hey,
Josh is looking to clinch.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
I-
clinch the victory
I need this mug
season.
so bad, man.
I mean, if you get that World Series matchup, it doesn't matter if the Blue
Yeah.
Jays win or not. Like
over.
you'll win.
Yep.
It's
I'll
done.
win.
But if the Mariners get there, I got a shot. I got a shot.
And the reason why we say that is because Josh is in the lead, 8 points. Johnny and I have both 6 because we're boring and collectively picked the Colorado Avalanche to win over the Los Angeles Kings on the
I think
NHL's
it's the
opening
first
night.
time we had a unanimous pick that didn't
Blow up in our
Blow up
face.
in our face.
that we didn't. I was about to say that screwed us over, but I'm like that we cursed. That's
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to ever put this on the other team. It's us cursing them with our hubris by all uniting in agreements.
Yeah. Well, we may have avoided doing that this week because this week, well, let me back up. NFL, before we get into the points for next week, NFL Eliminator, still ongoing between Johnny and I. So we are going to catch you eventually.
I'm great at everything but NFL.
But you know what the
Yeah, one of
irony,
us will
Josh,
get
is
a
we could
point.
finish the season and still be alive, both of us, and the point wouldn't
true.
count for this
Next
season.
season.
Now we have to survive like 7 more
what
weeks of
he's
the
trying
NFL,
for.
which at that point you're running out of teams to pick. Anyways, I digress.
I think we should get more than 1 point if we run the whole season.
Yeah.
of
I just want
Eliminator.
the Macoon mug. I don't care what you guys decide to do with your points past this season.
Right.
I'm gonna treat myself if I make it through the whole year.
Yeah. We are in week 7 of the NFL. Johnny and I have survived to this point. We'll cast aside the small detail that we forgot to do this the first 2 weeks of the season, but surely we would have been right about
I did
that.
it on the app though.
Oh,
I'm
did you?
Live on the app. I have evidence.
Oh, excellent. Mine's a hypothetical SEC win. Question: if both of us lose this week simultaneously, does that put Josh back in the running, or is he like dead?
No, it's been like 4 weeks now.
Yes.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, I'm braving the Green Bay Packers, which is what killed you. in week 3.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Green Bay winning this week. They handled Cincinnati. The Bengals gave them somewhat of a late scare, but it was
Yeah,
Packers,
no.
and that's actually, Johnny, that's how you survived this week. I survived by picking the Denver Broncos, so that was good.
Ugly.
I almost that might have started a war, just about. Yeah, that was bad.
See, those bad NFL games are just bad.
Yeah.
They're unwatchable. Bad college football, if there was a
Awesome.
college football game,
I
13
went
to
down-
11, that would have been incredible. It would have been a great
I went
watch.
down a rabbit hole of 2 teams not even established enough to be part of the NJCAA. Like they were
Oh,
beneath
jeez.
junior college. And they were playing out of some high school
There's-
stadium they
Were you
borrowed.
watching like Pop Warner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
legally at college. Out of Louisiana. It was
Phoenix.
Christian,
It was
like
the-
Covenant Christian. It was Christian Covenant Academy, Louisiana against Christian Covenant Academy, Arkansas.
No way.
Christian Covenant Academy,
What a
Arkansas
rivalry.
brought
Rival.
10 players and got a scoop and score out of that, off those 10 players. Like that's great. That's a
Well,
bad
that's
game,
sickos.
and that's great.
That's
I don't want to
fantastic.
watch the Jets ever again in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad, man.
It's
But the
embarrassing.
Broncos also, like, bad on you for not just putting them away
Just
so that
put
we
them
could all just
down.
collectively turn it off and know you won. Like, that's on you guys, too.
Oh, I never turned it
Um,
on, so props to me.
Right. No,
Wow.
I knew.
Yeah. I had Green Bay last week.
Yeah.
Aaron, you're right. They did scare me in the fact that I thought, as a Bengals fan, I was scared because I thought the Bengals would win, and I want them to lose every game so Zach Taylor gets fired.
Right.
I would like teams to blow us out more. So anyway, I had New England. They're playing the aforementioned Titans this week. I gotta kind of start moving away from the very big name, like closer to elite teams, if I want to survive longer than another week or two. So this is more a long play,
Mhm.
but they're playing the Titans. So I think there's a pretty good shot. New England's doing well so far, 4-2.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. I thought about that too, but I'm going Green Bay. I actually thought about Kansas City, and then I looked at our chart and I said, "Whoops!"
I thought about them too.
I picked Kansas City week 3, so they're
Oh, yeah,
they're
you
gone
did.
from my board, so I cannot. But rolling,
I
with,
thought I'd save Kansas City for later.
yeah,
That
smart.
was kind of the logic.
Yep. So I've got Green Bay. Now to this week. We have the Holy War, and it's a ranked matchup. It has not been ranked a ton in rivalry history as of late, but it is this week. Don't tell ESPN. They don't know this game exists. Don't tell really anybody in national media because they'll be shocked if you tell them that this is a ranked
Be
matchup.
the best watch of the week.
Well, don't
Well,
worry.
you know what? I take that back.
Well,
Fox is going
game-
there. So
game-
for
yeah,
once
no,
in
game
your
day's already too
entire
worried. They
life,
want to go to Georgia Ole Miss.
yeah.
That's their
Good for them.
concern.
This may be the
Good
only
for
credit
Fox.
I ever give Big Noon kickoff.
Good
They're
for
going
everybody.
to Utah BYU. And they're not
Yeah,
Big
good
Nooning
for
it.
them.
Somehow, this is a possibility. Apparently, you can go to a game and not Big Noon. Anyways, so even in my praise for Big Noon, I'm
Yeah,
saying you
Ohio
guys are
State
stupid.
has mixed feelings now. They were going to be, they thought we might get a big noon with the Penn State game, and they actually might give us
Thrilled.
prime time after all.
Yeah.
Thrilled.
NBC's like, yay.
It won't be a good game, but
Right.
thrilled.
Or CBS will end up stuck with it. But
Ugh.
anyways, we're picking that this week.
I don't wanna
Utah
play
comes
with
in
you
at
anymore.
5-1. BYU undefeated. Haven't been really tested by a quality opponent yet, but they're 6-0. We've got BYU number 17 in the 5th and goal poll. Utah, after a win against Arizona State late Saturday night, checks in at number 23, back in the top 25. I'm going with Utah. I know they're on the road. I just happen to think that Texas Tech is just a really, really good program. And so, yes, did Utah get their teeth kicked in at home against Texas Tech? Yes. So far, Texas Tech has pretty much done that to everyone. It's not for the faint of heart, but look at the box score when Texas Tech played Kansas this week. They put up over 300 rushing yards. So I think Utah, as long as they're not playing Texas Tech, I think they're fine just about any other opponent. BYU's super solid. What they've been able to do despite that late quarterback concern with Jake Retzlaff leaving just with a couple months left until the season. For now, they've kind of seems like they've solved that issue. It's in BYU, but it's a rivalry. It's chaotic. Give me Kyle Whittingham's Utah Utes. I think Devin Dampier has a big day against the Cougars. I'm going Utah.
I was curious. These stadiums are right now, because it's post rush hour. They're an hour's drive away from each other. Salt Lake City to Provo is just a straight. You just take whatever north-south road is out there, whichever one they put in between Provo and Salt Lake, and just pop on for an hour. But that does technically, BYU, Provo, Utah is the southernmost of the two. Yes, I'm using the most to talk about two things. Take that, every grammar teacher I've had. And that makes them an hour closer to me, which means they're functionally my home team too, with these things I'm picking. So, BYU, that's my, that's who I'm picking.
Nice.
You know, we've talked about rivalry games not having a ton of logic to it. This game could absolutely apply, but despite BYU being at home, Bear Bachmeier, Aaron mentioned, has been really great as a freshman starting for BYU. Like, go watch that Arizona game. Yeah. He saved them at the end of that. I picked Arizona to win that. They screwed my parlay at like 2 a.m. It was awful. Some Pac-12 after dark shenanigans happening there. But I think starting a true freshman in a big time rivalry game like this, really be careful. If Utah and Devin Dampier get ahead of BYU and BYU has to play catch up in this game, I think he could get overwhelmed, because he actually has not just had to, just come on in like Julian's saying at Ohio State and just, pass the ball around, just do your job. No, he's actually had to do more than his job and save the team at times. And I think against the Kyle Whittingham defense, in a big time rivalry game, in a high stakes game, even though ESPN doesn't think so, I think that might be a little too much as a true freshman quarterback to take in the first time. And so I'd lean on experience, and I'd lean on Kyle Whittingham and that Utah defense. And like you said, Aaron, I just think Texas Tech is very, very good, more than I thought that was an indictment on Utah. Yeah. I think Tech might do that to everyone in the Big 12 this year.
Yeah. If you look at Vegas, they tend to agree with you on that. They're kind of the runaway favorites. So we'll see. Big 12 still has some opportunity to get chaotic. We'll see how it goes.
The guys spent hours scrolling social media, and they found some pretty dumb stuff. Now they want to talk to you about it.
Oh, by the way, I did find there is bowling in Dave & Buster's. Woo. Importantly, it's half off on Wednesdays as of 5 years ago.
That coupon still spends. Let's go.
Good luck. It's time for What We're Following.
Well, there's bowling in Dave & Buster's. Is they're bowling for Penn State. Yikes. Well, this is maybe old news, but I'm going to report it like it's new. The Chiefs are cheaters, everybody. And no, I'm not salty because the Chiefs beat the Detroit Lions. I'm legitimately not. I kind of knew going into last night, the Chiefs are 2-3. As good as the Lions have been over the last few years, it is hard for me to envision a scenario in which the Chiefs fall to 2-4. They are just too good. Which is why they don't need help from the referees. And yet, they get it. Johnny's nodding his head because he is more familiar with this than anyone. Our good friends in El Paso, Texas, the UTEP Miners.
Love UTEP. Did
some research and this is at KTSM9 News on Twitter, at KTSM TV, I should say. Research done by UTEP presents evidence that let me try to talk. That the Chiefs have benefited from slanted officiating from 2015 to 2023. Of course, the time that coincided with their rise as one of the NFL's most marketable franchises. Just shocking. Just shocking.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed? Well, you'll notice that the years that is cut off by is 2015 to 2023. I've done very little research on this research. I'm assuming that that's just the cutoff point that they had data for. We're just going to assume that. Because I can tell you it's still going on. You know how many penalties the Chiefs had last night? 0. Not a 1. It's impossible for a team to not play 60 minutes and not commit a penalty. A team will commit a penalty. 0 penalties? Really? Oh, the screenshots of the holds last night. Now, again, we're not talking Georgia Auburn here by no stretch of the imagination. Like the Chiefs were just a better team last night. Like don't misunderstand. But it's an ongoing thing. UTEP has proven to us at least that we are right to say, wow, the Chiefs, the refs are just buddy with the Chiefs. There's at least some evidence that that shows
proven
that.
by
Now,
science.
Right. Now there's some other stats that, maybe Chiefs fans will throw out like, oh, well, in this season they committed all the penalties. Like, well, yeah, but what was the impact of those penalties? Like, it's a deeper conversation than just stats. Anyways, not a single hold or anything called against the Chiefs last night. Got ugly at the end. That's unfortunate. Some poor decision making made by Brian Branch, who is now suspended for a game, rightfully so. While this is entirely his fault, I will point out that if you are not going to call a flag on the opposing team, something like this is more likely to occur. That does not make it correct what Brian Branch does, but it's perhaps a little less surprising. I'll put it that way. When your quarterback is taunting and not called. Anyways, I'll just leave it at that. The Chiefs are cheaters. And by the way, this isn't a new thing.
Aaron.
Like any dynasty, the NFL will give a little bit more leeway to. It's just how it goes.
Patriots were the same way.
Yep, it's a money-making operation at the end of the day for the NFL and all sports.
Aaron, to your point, sorry, not really necessarily to your point, because I agree with everything you just said, but I forgot a couple weeks ago because they started doing it a couple weeks ago. We're really hammering officials right now. And I did want to give a get out of jail free card.
Oh,
And that's to the ACC and Big 12 conferences for deciding during games to give us the audio of the replay booths and for us to hear the conversation going on with the lead official and their conference offices looking at the replay so that we could hear the conversation. And even if you disagreed with some of the outcomes, you at least could hear rationale. You could see where they were coming from. You saw the angles they were looking at. And I thought that was outstanding. And I think that's so helpful for a fan to know. And I think I'm not going to say fans won't still get angry. I think you're at least a little less inclined to be angry when you can hear some rationale, some talk, and it helps debunk some conspiracy a little bit against your team as well. So I just we're hammering officials tonight. Yeah. I wanted to get out of jail free card for the ACC and Big 12 for doing that. Everybody should do that. NFL, the other conferences, everybody should do that. Nothing wrong with that. I thought it was outstanding. Everybody appreciated it.
Yep. That's all I got. Just
Josh, I believe
a little salty.
I believe you're giving someone the handcuffs.
Oh,
or putting them behind bars.
Stocks, maybe.
I also, I've been feeling generous, and I thank you, Johnny, for getting us on a little bit of a positive streak, because I am going to send someone to jail. But until then, we'd like to give I don't know how this works, but we've sent an entity to jail before, so I believe I can send an entity a get out of jail free card, and that is every Oklahoma State fan that swung their shirt around during a 39-17 loss at home to Houston.
Yes.
Started with one guy. He gets the biggest get out of jail free. I don't know if he gets 2. I don't know if his get out of jail free card covers felonies as well. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. Felony. It's just a greater get out of jail free card.
Well, yeah, because you don't go to jail when you like, I don't know, embezzle $1.5 million. I think you got to go to prison for that. So he gets out an out of prison free card. Um, but everybody in Section 231, you have my hats and my shirts.
Yes.
Not now, obviously,
Outstanding,
because
Josh.
this is a family show.
Yes.
Speaking of family show, I suppose you got to teach your kids the importance of sending people to jail. And I'm sending the entirety of like the AP for multiple reasons. Do they need specific reasons? Not really. One, I'm going to send one specific person. This is the person who, let me refresh my page. I had this saved and it went away. Great. I will find you. A voter from Kentucky. A voter from Kentucky. That's what I know. Did not rank USC this week. And dropped from 15 to 17.
What are we doing?
This is like the person who moved
I know what
forward
we're doing. We're doing
after
drugs.
they lost to
That's
South
what we're doing.
Florida.
Drugs. Additionally, I think it was Husky's Barstool made this great observation.
How are they not ranked?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
They're not ranked. You know who the number
Aaron, what are they in
their
ours?
one loss is?
They
I had them like
are-
17
They're
or
20th.
something.
Yeah.
I didn't have them quite that high, but they're 20th. Yeah.
20th. It's not even close.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. Drugs. Sorry, Josh.
drugs. No, I am sending so many. So we're doing a collective jail to the AP, and we're doing specific. Come on, where is it? I'm gonna.
Is this
find
guy
this
also
guy.
responsible for Cincinnati being ranked ahead of Nebraska?
Oh boy.
Probably.
Whomst of which we would have no idea who would win versus each other on a neutral
Because then you
field.
get these
Not a
things, and this is
clue.
great. This is great fodder for day.
Ugh.
Right now, what this means is with Illinois unranked, with Washington unranked, you now have Ohio State with only one victory over a currently ranked team versus someone like Alabama's 3. Which now
Big Ten
starts
team
the-
ranks, they drop like 10 spots. SEC team loses, they drop
raise
2. Ridiculous.
So, yeah. So this is, I'm sending everybody, as many people as I can to jail. That one guy who specifically ranked Michigan the way they did, special place in jail, deeper in. I don't know how
Did
many
somebody
layers of
drop
jail.
Indiana? Like from week to week, they moved to Indiana backwards.
Probably.
Somebody
I
did.
gotta-
Probably.
Somebody did. Like
Mhm.
somebody did.
Let
Oh.
me see.
Listen, and you could argue with me about Indiana being ranked number 1. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem with that right
Yep.
now.
No, I
Like,
would not be
have a
upset.
problem.
So they've got
It's
the
like
best
Wisconsin,
win
it
of
would've
any
been-
team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would have no problem here.
Ah, found him. Keith Farmer. At Keith
Mm.
Farmer 18.
Keith.
Bully him. Unless Apple Music doesn't let us say bully this guy.
No.
Then don't.
Bullying entities works.
Yeah.
Bully the AP because these guys are not watching the games. They're not watching. It's ridiculous. And
Yeah.
people who say it doesn't even matter. Lies.
Mm-hmm.
Liars. You don't think the college football committee looks at these ranks and says, well, that was a really good win. They're like, but the rankings don't even start until November. What do you think they determine good and bad wins by before then? They look at the AP rankings. They do matter. And I'm sure it's not every voter. I'm sure it's not.
No, but I can go to specific ones.
But there's too many who should not have
all
a
of them
vote.
here.
Me and Aaron should have your vote.
That's right.
Mhm.
Give Josh your vote. We deserve your vote. We probably watch more games
Oh,
than
undoubtedly.
you guys
Yeah.
do. Drugs.
I've been watching a game on my other monitor this whole
Yeah.
this whole time while we've been recording.
I've been
The
searching. I
UMass
was
game,
trying to-
hopefully not.
Yeah, I've been breaking down UMass Kent State film. So
Oh, not a fun one to break down.
no,
Yeah,
yeah.
because we're not
Oof.
again. Sorry,
I was watching Rice
Brett
Prairie
McMurphy,
View A&M
I
from
don't
week
want
3
to
today.
send you to jail because you have a relatively reasonable.
Well, you can argue
He has
spots.
he has USC at 23. He has Michigan unranked. Like cool individuals. He has Miami at number 1. He has Miami, Ohio State, Indiana. That's his top 3.
Sure.
Cool.
That's fine.
That's within the range of normal.
Yes.
Then you have Keith, who Keith Farmer. I'm gonna pull him
Ridiculous.
up. WLEX. Ohio State, Miami, Indiana, Ole Miss. His top 4. Cool.
He did not watch that Ole Miss game.
Yeah, I would have a hard
No
time ranking
way.
Ole Miss after that. At number 4. Mind you,
Yeah.
No,
Michigan
Aaron, I dropped
17.
him straight out. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Just disgusting.
Just gross. No, you're
Yeah.
right, Josh. Would you like me to end what we're following on a happy note? I feel like
Yes.
No.
screaming.
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, Aaron's
make
like,
whatever
no,
you
I
were
like
about to
this
say.
angry.
Spin it negative. Spin it
Oh,
negative,
okay.
No, there's no way to spin
it
this negative.
Sucks. No, there is.
Oh,
I can
okay.
spin anything negative. I hate that the World Cup has expanded the field.
oh.
I love the original, just 32
It's like-
teams, and it was only first and second place went through, and it's beautiful because
Oh, I thought it
half
was
the
like the
field moves
size of the
on to the round of 16,
running more.
and it's just the math is perfect, and 32 teams means that you are truly getting the best teams from around the world. However, and I do truly think that one of the good things is, and like when the college football playoff expanded, we tried to be positive after it had been done because it was done. And at a certain point, it doesn't help to keep screaming about it, even though we do at times. The World Cup expanding, one of the great things about it is that some countries that never, ever would have had a shot, just because of their size and population, now do have a chance to make this 48-team field. And one of those countries that qualified just today, on October 13th, is Cape Verde. Now, Josh and Aaron, don't Google this. And if you have not, hopefully you haven't looked it up. But if you have, just tell me, where is Cape Verde located?
Oh boy.
Oh, good. You guys didn't look it up. I hope you
Well,
wouldn't.
I know who they defeated in this game, but
That's a hint.
unfortunately, that's not helping me much either. But is this is
I'm going to use
Africa?
my
Guess a
vast
continent
knowledge.
at
Africa.
least. Africa's Aaron's guess. Josh.
Cape Verde. I'm going to go back and trying to remember what the Spanish
I'm gonna
if
play
any,
GeoGuessr after this.
colonized along Africa. And so I'm going to throw my guess over to Cape Verde.
Although by name alone,
I'm
it
gonna
makes me
put it-
think more like
I'm going
Caribbean,
south.
but
Just to go there, I'm going to go South America. I don't know
Okay,
where.
Josh is saying South America. Aaron, final answer, Africa.
Sure. I don't feel
Maybe
any confidence in
Greenland or
that.
something.
Aaron is correct.
Oh,
It is
yay.
in Africa. It's
Yay.
in Africa. Now, do you think it's in the Atlantic, Southern, or Indian Ocean?
I'll go Indian.
I'll go Atlantic. I can't imagine the Spanish traveling that far for things, to be honest.
Okay, you guys split. It is in the Atlantic.
Oh.
It is actually a Portuguese former colony, Josh.
Okay.
Ah,
It
there
was
we go.
not inhabited prior to colonization by the Portuguese. It is off the west coast of Africa. Its
You
population's only around 50,000 people.
You were
So it was
real close,
colonized in the
Portugal.
15th century.
Is it 50,000
And
or
no one lived-
500,000?
500,000.
Okay.
Sorry, did I say 50,000?
Yeah.
500,000 people live there. It's an archipelago. It's not just one island. So it is the second smallest country population-wise that's ever qualified for the
That's
World Cup.
excellent.
The smallest is Iceland. They don't even have 400,000 on Iceland. So that is amazing. Very cool to see a country like Cape Verde get the opportunity to make the World Cup. That does make me feel like a lot better about the expansion of the World Cup, even though it's ultimately for money. I love that countries like this will get promotion, and I'm sure there will be lots of stories and documentaries about Cape Verde making the World Cup. I hope they do well there. Um, what's going to make me cheer for them even more in the World Cup is a man near and dear to our heart on the Columbus Crew, Steven Moreira, a defender, one of the best. I believe he won the best defender in the MLS award last year. He is on the Cape Verde team. So that is amazing. It's the international break because we have these World Cup qualifiers going on around the world right now. And Cape Verde made the qualifications for the World Cup. So that's awesome.
Hotel.
That is awesome.
So cool. Oh, it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. I'm sure tourism will go up like crazy after the World Cup. Because I'm sure, again, they'll do documentaries about the players and people there. There are also actually more Cape Verdeans, I don't know how they actually would say it, that live abroad than live on the islands. So that's another interesting fact, but very cool, very fun. Love that for them. Look forward to watching them next summer in the US. Maybe that'll be where I go to watch a game.
And
maybe
spend
I'll
your
really try
entire
to
bank
watch
account.
Cape Verde. Yeah, we'll talk about that, Jay.
You've not traveled enough yet, Johnny.
Another day.
Cape Verde calls their team the Blue Sharks, which is just excellent.
Oh, awesome.
Good job,
Also
guys.
correct.
Yeah.
Like archipelago. Very good.
According to @Men&Blazers
That's a
on
cool lighthouse.
Twitter, every U.S. state has a bigger population, which I disagree with because Wyoming has a population of 0. But other than that, that's unbelievable.
Nobody has ever lived in Wyoming. Thank you for bringing this up.
Yeah. You can live there, like they live there temporarily as like a student or something, or they pass through for tourism.
Of course, we call we like to call Wyoming a college state.
Bison are people
around
too,
here because in the summer's empty.
Right. Oh, and when your entire state is just Yellowstone, then no one lives in Yellowstone, so it's impossible. No one lives in Wyoming.
No one has ever lived in Yellowstone.
I won't stand for this Wyoming erasure.
All right, well, Johnny, then name someone you know that lives in Wyoming.
I can't.
Yeah, because nobody lives there.
No
Laramie is a lovely town.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is.
been?
It was both raining, snowing, and hailing last week for their game against UNLV simultaneously.
It was outstanding. Football weather.
Yeah. I mean, there's college kids there. No doubt about that. But they're not permanent residents.
There's 2 people. There are 2 people. There are 3 people, if you want to count statues, in their official seal. And that is more people than currently reside in Wyoming at this time.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Just because no one lives there doesn't mean your state's great, by the way. I'm not trashing Wyoming. It's one of my favorites.
Here's on the seal, Johnny. Here's on the seal. Grain,
With the seal, Ohio has no people on its seal.
It doesn't have to because you drive to Ohio. You're like, oh, hey, look, people.
Within. Yeah, people.
Anyways. Otherwise, Cape Verde has a population smaller than 49 of the 50 U.S. states.
Go Blue Sharks.
Yeah, that's your action statement.
I have to get a jersey.
Oh, that's going to go crazy.
Yeah.
Better hop on that now, depending on if you want a legitimate or illegitimate jersey.
Oh, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
Yep.
The region acquired the name Wyoming, thank you, Wikipedia, by Representative James Mitchell Ashley of Ohio.
See,
it always
even their own
back to Ohio.
It does. Even their own politicians.
No, everything comes back to
It was
Ohio.
named after
That's
Wyoming
no proof. Everything comes back to Ohio.
Yeah, the territory was named after Wyoming Valley in Pennsylvania.
Okay, that one, I'll give you that one. That's wild.
Oh, wow.
That's wild.
Yep. Action statement is
Maybe
find someone from Wyoming for us so that we have physical evidence.
Yep. Yep. Agreed.
Go Blue Sharks.
Yep. Go Blue Sharks.
Hold on.
I will
have a
try to
friend
get
who
the national
graduated
anthem
from
of Cape
University
Verde
of
loaded
Wyoming. I'm
into the
gonna see if he was
soundboard
born
by
there.
this time next week. That's my action statement. So we can follow this team. Listeners, viewers, thanks for checking us out this week. Thank you if you made it all the way to the end of this show, number one, thank you. because this was probably our longest to date, which makes sense considering the topics that we were talking about. That also means you probably don't completely hate us, which we also appreciate. So do us a favor. You can like the stream on Facebook, YouTube, which we stream live every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, or you can also give us a review and share on your favorite podcast platform as well. So thanks for being here. We will see you all next week with more exciting college football, NFL, soccer, whatever sports drops in our lap. We're looking forward to it. So I hope it's a good one. We'll talk to you later.